Today's segment of Oh Brother is sponsored by Seco Performance Centers, providing performance car parts across all of Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. Visit them on the web at secoperformance.com. That's SECO Performance.com.
So southern, they'll get up for you for nothing.
Welcome into the Tuesday edition of Oh Brother. I'm Will Lochamy along with Reed Lochamy. This is the podcast you can find at ohbrotherradio.com or on iTunes. Of course, you can email the show at ohbrotherradio@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, ohbrotherradio, all kinds of stuff. We got a YouTube channel now.
Yeah, boy, Will, you have been pumping out the YouTube videos like it is going out of style, and they're good.
Yeah, it's just the segments on there.
But it's more than just that.
But they're pictures. There'll be pictures of me and you, and then whatever we're talking about that day. Like if we have a guest.
Yeah.
Like this week, John Adams is going to join us for Monday, yesterday's segment, and for Thursday. There will be pictures of John Adams.
And you snuck a picture I noticed the other day of a topless woman. Now, I'm not going to say which segment it was, but if people are interested in seeing a topless woman, you can go back and just watch every single Oh Brother YouTube video. You can find them at youtube.com/.
And they haven't canceled our channel yet.
Not yet. So. That's impressive, Will.
Yeah, it's Tuesday, Reed, and every Tuesday we do something different. But this Tuesday we're going to do a lot like last Tuesday.
This is quickly becoming...
This segment is so awesome.
This is one of my favorite things. And it's called... I'm sorry, what?
Huh?
Yeah, and this is where we have found something... I happened to run across this, and I when I heard it, I was like, what? And so I thought...
And once again, I don't know
what
we're
about to talk about. All right, so... Basically, here's what I'm gonna do. I've recorded some audio, right? I'm just gonna play it, and I want you to pay attention to it, and we'll just get your reaction.
I have to pay attention.
You have to pay a little bit of attention.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go.
I live alone, so I worry. If I have an emergency outside my home, how do I call for help?
Get it free at safelink.com or 1-800-SAFELINK.
Wait. 911.
That's a good point. Well, now wait a second though, Will. What if you don't have a phone?
She didn't have a phone?
I don't know.
But she's got a computer?
Well, then maybe she has.
Go to safelink.com?
Let's see what happens. Here we go.
SafeLink, a free government-supported cell phone with free monthly minutes and a free voice.
Wait a minute. What? It's a government cell phone?
Maybe we should start this over.
Please, I'm confused.
Let's just start over from the very beginning. Here we go.
I live alone, so I worry. If I have an emergency outside my home, how do I call for help?
Get it free at safelink.com or 1-800-SAFELINK.
Presenting SafeLink, a free government-supported cell phone with free monthly minutes and a free...
Now,
wait a minute.
Tell
the
me
government is
about
making
your
cell
free
phones?
government cell phone that you've got.
I've got it in my hand, but I've been paying a lot
You're
for it
paying
every
for
month.
a cell phone? Why would you pay for a cell phone? Didn't you know that there are free government cell phones that you can get if you're worried and you don't know how to call for help if somebody has out your house?
All right, the government is sending out cell phones to people?
Let's listen to the rest.
With free minutes? Okay, go ahead.
free voicemail account. If you could use a little help
And free voicemail.
That's an extra.
Free voicemail, yeah.
in this time of need, you may qualify. Hurry to receive your free phone quickly.
I can now call my family anytime.
No, that's not an emergency.
No, but if you need to call your family, just to chat, I guess.
Oh, the voicemail, I mean, is the fire department going to call you back and leave you a message? If your house is on fire?
Here we go.
Spread the word to family and friends and apply today at safelink.com or at 1-800-SAFELINK.
I'm confused.
Boy. Well, I saw this.
This is a cell phone is a luxury.
Well, apparently not. Apparently not. Here's the thing. When I first heard this, I was just outraged. I was like, this is seriously, because here's the thing. There are a lot of things that government should do, I think, but what's happening here is you've got a cell phone company that has gotten a government contract and said, hey, we'll provide cell phones for people. All you do is just, I'm sure the government's paying way more than what's reasonable for this, I'm sure. Of course. And of course, where is that money coming from? Obviously, it's from tax dollars of some sort or whatever. So at first when I heard it, I was just outraged. I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. Now, when I did a little bit of research into it, it's not much better, but it does get a little bit better.
Like how?
Well, here's what it says on Wikipedia I found about this. It says SafeLink Wireless provides a free cell phone and a limited number of voice minutes, which is only 68 total minutes. and it only is active in certain states that
You know, when I had an emergency phone, my first cell phone, it only had 10 minutes.
Right, who paid for that? The government?
No, Mom and Dad. Probably paid $150 a month. or
Hey,
something.
you know
at
an
that time,
interesting-
10 minutes was a lot.
Now, here's an interesting thing also about cell phones. My understanding is that if you have a cell phone that is charged, whether or not you have an account for it or anything like that, you can call 911.
Yeah.
You don't have to have 68 minutes provided. I'm sure the government's probably paying like $1.50 for every one of these stupid minutes.
Sure.
All right, so it goes on to say 68 minutes each month for a low-income eligible families, and they only have one phone per family. And these are people who
poor
only
families.
one
They only get one free
one
cell
free
phone?
government phone
With
per
voicemail?
family. With voicemail.
Oh, gosh. Can you get a Facebook app on
Now
there?
here's something else that this doesn't. At first, I was like, this makes it a little bit better, but it doesn't. It makes it no better. It says here that these are funded through the Universal Service Fund that almost every U.S. taxpayer contributes to via their existing landline and wireless service. So if you have
Why
a
is
phone,
that better?
that's what I'm saying. It's not better. At first, I was like, oh, it's not really like a tax, but it is. What happens
Sure
is if
it
you
is,
have a
yeah.
phone, have you ever noticed on your phone bill, there's that UFC or whatever thing, is that what it was? USF, whatever. It's
Not
a
a
charge
fighting-
that you pay.
yeah, not a fighting
thing.
federation.
I'm sorry, a USF, I guess, the Universal Service Fund. That we're all paying into, and this, it turns out, is where that money is going. Now, here's my thing. I'd rather just not have to pay that every month.
Sure. This just reminds me, Reed, a lot of when they did the digital cable switch.
Yes.
And they did the vouchers
Yes.
for people who
The
couldn't
government-
afford
Yeah.
digital cable boxes. You could get
That's
a
right.
government voucher to get one.
For only 10, like it normally would be $40, but you only had to pay 10 or something
I will
like
say
that.
again, TV is a luxury.
Yeah. Now, here's what people will say about that, though. They'll say,
that you gotta get
"Oh,
the emergency
weather,
weather stuff, right? Whatever."
Yeah,
No.
which drives me bonkers. And we had James Spann on, and he's a nice guy, but that stuff drives me crazy when these people take over. And I'm like trying to watch The Simpsons or something like that, and instead of having to watch about a tiny tornado over in some.
We're going to have
podunk
James Spann
town.
back on to talk about that.
Talk about that. Well, anyway, so there you go. Sure enough, have you seen these commercials? You ought to pay attention now because
I haven't paid attention if I've seen
I
it.
was watching and there it was, and
I don't have to watch a ton of commercials because I've got my government DVR box where I can just fast forward through all the commercials.
That's nice. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so sure enough, there you go. So what's your take on this? What do you think?
I
about
think it's silly. I think get an old cell phone. Reed, you work for Safe House, right?
Yeah.
And you guys, I know, take in old cell phones that people don't want anymore.
That's right.
And you can give them to people, victims of domestic violence.
That's right.
And they don't have to have a plan, like you said.
That's
you can
right.
just
You keep it
dial
charged.
911.
You dial 911. Yeah. So it's a little. I think this obviously, gets us into a bigger argument about what really. What is the government supposed to be doing, and what are taxes supposed to be used for? I mean, to me, if I'm paying taxes, I'd like it for it to be services that I can or am likely to utilize, like roads and, armies and stuff like that, things that are used to protect me. But, it's weird to me to take taxes from someone and to be like, and we're going to give that to somebody who cannot afford a cell phone so that they can call,
I
it's
hate
just
to
a
get
weird
too
thing.
political, but I feel like this is where we're going. I feel like this is slowly but surely where we're going.
I think that was my concern when I first heard this commercial. So I thought we'd play it for a I'm sorry what segment and put it out there. And people, if you have thoughts about this, right, then don't forget you should email the show at obrotherradio@gmail.com. Listen, maybe you think, hey, y'all are being overreacting to this, or this is no big deal. Or if you are very passionate about the fact that maybe this is not something that government should be doing, then you should email the show either way. Of course, we respond to listener mail every Sunday.
And as outrageous as this sounds, Reed, it's clearly not as outrageous as last week's I'm sorry what that dealt with interracial marriage.
Ooh,
I'm telling you.
Yeah, by the way, we didn't mention on last week's segment, but those people did get married.